now going to invite Patricia Aquaro, who is the Managing Director or Executive Manager, should I say, of L&D in BNY Mellon. So thanks, Patty, for joining me.
Thank you, Austin.
So, Patty, I suppose it'd be great to give everybody a feel of the journey with ETU and where are you now and where are you going to?
Sure. Thank you again. For us, I would say the journey really began in 2013 when the company decided to centralize all of its L&D. At that point, having come out of the financial crisis, there was a big focus on risk culture. And by centralizing L&D, we took the opportunity to focus on how we could use training to foster the risk culture. And so we began that journey in 2013. I looked at how I could really develop a plan, a strategy, and we took a two-pronged approach. We wanted to deliver programs that, of course, covered all employees, built some foundation, but we also wanted to target managers who we felt could set the tone for the company and, of course, have that message cascade throughout their teams. So we picked a scenario that actually took place in the bank. There was an operational error which resulted in a financial loss, and we built a virtual training classroom around that scenario. We got great feedback. However, it took us several months to train roughly about 1,000 managers, and we had another 5,000 to go. We also were challenged by having a global company and trying to reach those audiences. So we engaged with ETU to take that virtual training program and really create a SIM. And that launched in 2015 as Managing Risk in Your Team. And overnight, what we got was a program that was delivered to 5,000 managers. We were able to redirect our resources who were doing all of the virtual training. And most importantly, we actually got data. And we were able to look at and analyze the results that employees took throughout the training program, which was fascinating. We then used that data to drive forward. We looked for opportunities where we had existing programs. Some of the behaviors we were looking at were critical thinking, communication. So we looked at what we had in our inventory, and we were able to push that out in areas where we saw some suboptimal choices by employees. But most importantly, we took that and we used it to develop our next SIM, which was called Effective Risk Management for Managers. And what was so interesting about that was, again, we started with a scenario that took place at the bank. But what we did in this version was take the scenario and play it out over 3 modules, which was fascinating. It gave the employee the opportunity in each module to see the scenario from a different perspective. So they were able to play the relationship manager, the operational manager, and then the risk manager. And as the scenario played out, they were making those key decisions throughout the program. We got tremendous results, again, really engaged learners, and really high scores in terms of feedback. This also just played in that journey in terms of being able to analyze the data. So not only did we have Managing Risk in Your Team, but now we have 3 additional modules to actually track the trends. So it's been very much a successful journey for us.
It's interesting, Patty, as you went through that, like, and you go back to that, the 3-part formula and the journey that and the data and the engagement that you saw. Like, I suppose to give everybody a bit of a sense, it was a risk and compliance program, and
we get a bad rap.
And from an engagement perspective, like, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, and that is what's fascinating, because there is not a lot of excitement typically around risk and compliance programs. The fact that people were so engaged, and really, to me, the biggest sign was that after we trained the 6,000 managers for effective risk management for managers, they actually asked us to take that program and roll it out to their teams. So we took the program designed for 6,000 managers and rolled it out to another 10,000 employees the next year because it was so well received. My partners in risk and compliance were extremely happy and proud and heard all of the same really positive feedback.
This is brilliant, and I suppose so. That was like, as the three-part formula, that was really kind of honing in on part one. Part two, in terms of the effectiveness of it, like even as you're describing it there, you know, the journey that you went on from the first program, managing risk in your team, to effective risk management for managers. You know, it was that data that was then pointing you to the learning strategy that you needed to do. I suppose that was just, it's just kind of following on to and summing up around that. And I suppose now that you're where you are, and we want to get to the data measurement and the ROI reporting, what's in your head and where are you going as an organization around that?
Well, where we are is obviously monitoring the trends,
Yeah.
where we've analyzed where we've seen improvement, and even within the 3 SIMs, you can actually see the behaviors improving, which is fascinating. Where we are now is we want to use that data and continue the trend and really look at where we can correlate that data to other metrics or other points within the organization. There are probably really key points like attrition or even performance, but also from the business, KPIs or areas where there might be operational losses. So the real goal is to tie the data, correlate it to those other metrics to really make sense of where we need to go as an organization.
So if this email lands, I know it hasn't landed with you yet, but if this email was to land, what would your reaction be?
Well, we're actually prepared, so I would be able to have my coffee and enjoy it, but we're really looking at this as something that, again, because we're in the risk and compliance space, we've been hearing that the regulators are interested in this. I think Maria said we're away from just completion rates, and I think the regulators get that.
Yeah.
We are not looking at just measuring time and seat and completion rates, but we really want to look at measurement. And I think also in the financial institutions, I think having a risk culture audit is becoming much more common. Yeah. And these metrics will support when we get audited, how we can look at the risk culture across the organization. So we have a story.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks a million, Patty. Thanks for joining me up here.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, take care. So just to kind of wrap up, is this a reality? I think there you have the evidence that this is a reality. This is here, and we're really looking forward to the years ahead. Thanks very much, everybody.